Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you, and we have story time today. So yeah, I have a story to tell about fates colliding. I guess the God and the universe conspiring, and everything that I'm telling you about this story, everything had to fall into place exactly as it did, or else the whole thing would have fallen apart. And even I didn't put the pieces together until, the very end. So it was kind of a very interesting story. So hang on tight for that. We'll get into that story here in just a second. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to have us a shot of some Trejo tequila. That's what we're going to do right now. The story kind of has something to do with this Trejo tequila. So we are going to crack it open again, and we are going to have us a shot of tequila. So hang tight. Let's do this. Here we have the bottle, indeed. Sounds like I'm murdering a duck or something, but shot glass. Good stuff. Good stuff, that Trejo tequila. And speaking of Danny Trejo, I finished reading his autobiography just yesterday. So I finished reading that. Fantastic book. I highly recommend you guys pick it up, read Danny Trejo's autobiography. He's an amazing guy. Amazing guy. All the respect in the world for him. Great story. So, like I said, yeah, this story has to do with Danny Trejo and Trejo tequila. So, let's rewind back to December 25th, 2024, just this past Christmas. I received this bottle of Trejo tequila for Christmas, and got it from my sister-in-law, and her boyfriend gave me that bottle, and I had never heard of it previous to that at all, even though I'm a self-confessed connoisseur of non-alcoholic beers and spirits and wines. I love trying all sorts of them, being sober now for 3 years. Anyway, so I get this bottle of Trejo tequila, and I sample it on my last video. Well, not my last video, a couple of videos back, I sampled it, and it's great stuff. I loved it and everything, and loved it so much that, so anyway, all right, so I can't get ahead of myself. We got to go in order because everything has to line up perfectly for this. This whole story works out exactly perfectly. It's crazy. All right, so anyway, love the Trejo tequila. All right, so anyway, my wife and I have been listening to this radio station, which is X96. It's called Radio from Hell. It's Utah's longest running and most popular morning radio show program. It's been going for over 40 years. The host of the show, their names are Carrie, Bill, and Gina. And they've been doing this for over 40 years. It's a very interesting, entertaining morning radio show that we've been listening to. I've been listening to it for about 10 years because I've been with my wife for about 10 years, and so she's been listening to it for much longer than I have. But nonetheless, this show's been going on for over 40 years. Super popular and well known in Utah and other parts of the country and the world because it's streamed online, podcasts, all the things that radio shows do these days. Anyway, as a tradition, this particular morning show does a once a year what they call Lights, Camera, Brunch. And it's a limited seating engagement where they sell a limited number of seats. Or on a Sunday morning, they have a restaurant rented out or reserved or whatever, and they sell the seats available in this venue, and then they serve a brunch at this venue. And while they're serving this brunch, they also put on a live podcast recording. So they record their podcast live during this brunch. And so they call it Lights, Camera, Brunch. All right, so anyway, this particular event has been going on for many, many years, and my wife and I have never been to it, though we've heard about it. We've never been to it. So anyway, my wife, she says, well, it's about the first part of January or so, first week or two into January. She's like, hey, would you want to go to Lights, Camera, Brunch this year? It's going to be on the 26th of January, on Sunday the 26th. I'm like, sure, I got nothing. I said, sure, I have nothing else going on. Why not? Let's go to Lights, Camera, Brunch. So she buys tickets to it, and the tickets sell out really fast. So you have to be on it quickly in order to get tickets to this event. So she goes and she gets the tickets. Everything's A-okay. Cool. We're going to Lights, Camera, Brunch. All right. So we get there, and it's filling up fast and everything. And it's not reserved seating at all. It's just show up, grab a seat, whatever. And at the front of the part of the restaurant that they have reserved, they have, tables set up where Carrie, Bill, and Gina, the hosts of the radio show, they have their microphones set up where they can sit and perform the live podcast. So they got the table set up for the radio host, and then after that they have like the tables for whoever bought the tickets, and so they can sit and eat and watch them do their show. So my wife and I, we show up, and people are starting to reserve seats with their coats and bags and for their friends to be able to sit and whatever. And we're like, well, where should we sit? I'm like, I don't know. So we're looking over the place, and there's two seats that doesn't look like they're taken. So we ask people, hey, are those seats taken? They're like, nope, you're good to go on those seats. So we go and we, sit down in these seats and get our brunch together and everything. And so we're sitting there, and our seats are kind of really close to where the radio hosts are sitting. So we're kind of in close proximity to where the DJs are at. So that's a good thing. Now this X96 Radio from Hell show, every Friday they have a segment called Have Another Drink with Jimmy Santangelo. He's known as Jimmy the Wine Guy, and he's with the Utah Wine Academy, I believe is who he's with, the Utah Wine Academy. And so Jimmy Santangelo, he's like a sommelier, a person that expert in all things wine, spirits, and beers. He's the guy. So they call him Jimmy the Wine Guy. And turns out that by fate has it, we're sitting right next to Jimmy the Wine Guy. And so, all right, cool, whatever. Never met Jimmy the Wine Guy before, but I've heard his voice on the radio many times, and like he sort of looks like what he would sound like. So his face and his voice, they sort of match. Cool, whatever. Good enough looking guy and all that. And so we're just chilling there, doing our thing. And so after the program is done, then my wife tells me, hey, you should ask Jimmy about Trejo tequila. You should ask Jimmy about Trejo tequila. And, basically saying, hey, they need to have more non-alcoholic content on the Have Another Drink with Jimmy segment on X96. I'm like, cool, I'll do that. So she encourages me to go and grab Jimmy's attention and have a quick chat with him after everybody's splitting after this show is done. So I, tapped him on the shoulder and, hey, Jimmy, have you ever heard of Trejo Tequila? And he said, I'm not sure if he did say he did or didn't. That part's kind of a bit of a blur because you're nervous talking to strange people. We all get nervous doing that kind of thing. So I'm not sure exactly what he said, but we had a nice brief chat about non-alcoholic beverages and how like the non-alcoholic spirits market, non-alcoholic beer market, they're actually exploding into a really big deal with the non-alcoholic drinking scene. We had a quick conversation about that and everything. And so anyway, he left a good impression with me. He's a cool guy. I liked him. He was good first impression. So my wife and I, we were leaving, driving home and everything. And I'm just like, I should buy another bottle of Trejo Tequila and send it to the radio show so that Jimmy the Wine Guy could try it out and see what he thinks about Trejo Tequila. All right, whatever. So anyway, we get home and immediately I go onto Amazon and I order another bottle of Trejo Tequila, and then I order one of my t-shirts for Bill Allred because he's from Ogden, and I order him one of my t-shirts to send him a t-shirt as well. So I get this, so a couple days pass, the tequila arrives really quickly. I was impressed. It arrived quickly. The t-shirt arrives, and then I box it all up. As soon as I get the t-shirt and the tequila together, box it all up, and I send it off via UPS to the radio station in Salt Lake. And so I sent it off on the 28th. Sent it off on January 28th. And then UPS drops it off at the radio station on the 29th. And so all right, whatever, cool, I got there quick. And, so Friday rolls around, and they do the Jimmy the Wine Guy segment and everything, but they also, they sample the tequila that I sent to the radio show. So I wrote out a note and everything and put in a couple of my business cards, wrote out a note about, the Lights Camera Brunch event that I met Jimmy the Wine Guy on, and kind of just described myself briefly and how this whole package came to be and how Jimmy the Wine Guy and I had this brief conversation about non-alcoholic spirits and drinks. And so here's a bottle of Trejo Tequila for Jimmy the Wine Guy to try out, and then I'm interested in his opinion about it, and enjoy the gifts kind of thing. And so I said that. They get it on the 29th. The 31st rolls around, which is Friday the 31st, and they end up sampling the tequila on the show on the 31st. And I went, because I was at work. I didn't hear it live on the radio. I went back after I got home from work and replayed the podcast because they publish all of their shows onto the podcast every day. So I go to the podcast, I listen to the show, I find the segment, which is 1 hour into the segment that I'll have linked in the description box below. So you just scroll to the 1 hour mark and you can hear them, cracking open this bottle of tequila that I sent them, reading a bit of the letter that I wrote them, and they, my handwriting sucks apparently, but good thing I sent them my business card so they can pronounce my name right. So, oh yeah, this radio from a friend of the program, Daniel Jesse, sent this in and whatever. You can listen to it all. Click on the link down here below, scroll to the 1 hour mark, and you could listen to what they had to say about Trejo Tequila and all that. And very cool. And it went basically the way that I thought that it was going to go. So the image that I had in my head is pretty much how it played out on the radio. That's a good thing. So I was happy that that's the way it all played out. And so I was like, cool. They reviewed the tequila. They got the package. Everything went great and everything. And I'm going to send a copy of, or a link to this podcast to Danny Trejo. So I find his Facebook account, and I copy and paste the message and the link into Danny Trejo's direct messenger on Facebook and everything. But I'm noticing that there's all sorts of posts on Friday about Danny Trejo Day and everything, and I know from reading his book that there is a Danny Trejo Day, and that they celebrate the contributions that Danny Trejo has made to Los Angeles and all that. So I knew that day did exist because I read it in the book. But anyway, I just saw like all these posts about Danny Trejo Day and everything. I'm like, cool, whatever. I just didn't put it together or anything. And I sent it also to his webpage, and so to DannyTrejo.com, as well as his Facebook page. Sent the link, sent the messages and all that. And then the next day, was it Saturday the 1st? Yeah. Saturday the 1st of February, I'm like, when is Danny Trejo Day? So I Googled it, Danny Trejo Day, and it was January 31st was Danny Trejo Day. And I'm like, holy crap. Holy crap. The fates collided. The universe conspired to make all this land and occur right on Danny Trejo Day. I had no idea, but I didn't even put the pieces of the puzzle together until the day after, and I'm like, no freaking way. No way did this all land and go perfectly to land and to be sampled on the radio on Danny Trejo Day. I'm like, that is crazy. That's unreal. I'm like, everything had to have fallen into place perfectly without an error, without a delay, for this to happen exactly on Danny Trejo Day. Had no idea. I didn't even know what day of the year Danny Trejo Day was. I just knew that it existed. And so for my wife and I to go to this event that we had never been to, where at this event we met Jimmy the Wine Guy, who I had never met, obviously. Heard of him, but obviously had never met. So had we not gone to this event at this specific time, sat in these specific seats where we sat to be able to be next to Jimmy the Wine Guy, to be able to start this conversation with Jimmy the Wine Guy about non-alcoholic drinks, that would have never made this whole scenario happen. And so those two things had to have fallen in place exactly as they did, where they fell in place, for this to all fall into exactly the way it happened. And then for me to order the package when I ordered it, for it to arrive, for me to box it up, ship it, for it to arrive at the radio station, just in time for the segment to happen for Jimmy Santangelo to try it out on the Friday segment, which happened to be on Danny Trejo Day. All these elements had to happen exactly perfectly and to sit in the exact perfect seats. Everything had to be exactly coordinated for this whole thing to happen exactly the way it did on Danny Trejo Day. And I didn't even put all the pieces together until the day after. I was like, mind blown. I had no idea. Absolutely crazy. So anyway, God and the universe completely conspired with me for this to happen. I'm like, the fates definitely aligned. It's a conspiracy. God and the universe conspired with me to make this happen, and I didn't even know it was happening until I put the pieces together the day after. Crazy, crazy story. Blew my mind. Couldn't believe it. Gave me chills. The whole thing. I was like, whoa, insane. So hey, Danny Trejo, if you happen to see this video, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You did good. Your story is absolutely inspirational, and God and the universe conspired to make it happen all on that day as they planned. I didn't plan it. They planned it. I was just a messenger boy. I don't know. But anyway, if you like this story, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell other people about non-alcoholic drinks because they're freaking awesome. It's a great lifestyle. Sobriety kicks ass. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.